much reading we want to do, how much time we want to spend with the association of devotees. The six Goswamis, who are the ideal devotees of Krishna, they had even a fixed amount of obeisances that they would offer every day. It said in the prayers to the six Goswamis, Nana Shastra Vicharane Nikano, Sadhama Samstavako, Lokanam Yitakarino Trivane, Manyu Sharam Vakshan Yamavan. So in this verse, it's talking about being resolute in purpose, and Krishna also tells Arjuna what is the highest goal to achieve, to have in our life. That the highest goal to have in our life is to achieve pure love for Him, pure love for Krishna, because this is what can really satisfy the soul. And whoever has love for Krishna, whoever can remember Krishna at the time of death, then he can attain to the supreme abode of the Lord. That Krishna says in chapter 8, verse 5, he says, Antakale chamameva smaran muktva kalevaram yaprayati samadbhavam yati nasyatra samshaya. That whoever at the end of his life quits his body remembering me alone, at once attains to my nature. Of this there is no doubt. So and how can we remember Krishna at the time of death? This is possible if we daily practice remembering Krishna. And that's why Srila Prabhupada has given us this morning program. We begin our day, first thing. We come and we see Krishna in the temple. And then we meditate on the form. We recite prayers to Him. We chant His holy names. All of this is with the aim of remembering Krishna and increasing our love for Him. So then, by starting our day in this way, then we can also pray to the Lord to dedicate the rest of the day for His service, and pray that we can also remember the Lord throughout the day while doing all our different activities. And then again in the evening, we come before the Lord, and again we chant His holy names in the association of devotees, meditate on His form again, and then also we try to remember His form even at night while we're sleeping, because whatever we do during the day, whatever occupies our mind during the day, usually that's what we remember at night. So in this way we can always remember Krishna. And then naturally at the time of death also, we'll be able to remember Krishna and attain Krishna in His supreme eternal abode. And that abode is described in the Bhagavad Gita as Avyaktokshar ityuktas tamahu paramam gatim yadgadvana nivartante tadhama paramam mama. That supreme abode of mine, once having attained to it, one never has to return to this material world. That abode is eternal. And when everything in this world is destroyed, that abode, it remains as it is. It's infallible. So that's the place where we all want to go. Nobody wants to die in this world, but everybody has to die because this world is temporary. And why do we not like to die? Because we're eternal. So this repeated dying, becoming diseased, becoming old, this is all unnatural for us because we're eternal as a soul. That's what Krishna is explaining in the beginning of this chapter, that he says, Najayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuya ajo nityasha shrutoyam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire. That for the soul there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval, and He is not slain when the body is slain. So this is our identity. We're the soul. And so at present we're entrapped in this body, and only because of identifying with this body do we have to suffer birth, death, old age, and disease. But as soon as we realize our identity, that we're eternal servants of Krishna, then we can begin our real blissful spiritual life by engaging in service of Krishna, and by dedicating all our activities to Krishna, we can remember Krishna and then attain to the eternal spiritual world, which is all blissful. So this is the goal that Krishna has told us about and encouraged us to attain for our own good. And this is the process by which we can attain it. So we should be fixed. This is what this verse is trying to tell us today, that those who are resolute on this path, those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. Yeah, so the perfect example of one who's resolute in purpose is Srila Prabhupada. He got an order from his spiritual master to preach this knowledge, the Krishna conscious philosophy, in the Western world. So for a long time he was just thinking about how to execute this order, because he had never been to the West, and in those days travel to different countries was not very common. So he didn't know anything about like the West, or he didn't know anybody from there, and he didn't have much money also. First of all, he was thinking that let me become a successful businessman, I'll get lots of money, and then I'll use that money for spreading Krishna consciousness. I can open temples, and I can use money to create propaganda and to get different people to help me to spread this movement. So for a few years he was trying to build his business to get lots of money, but his business, it had like a fire and it burned like almost all of the stock, and he basically lost everything. So that plan he had to drop. So at that point, most people might think like, oh, I was trying to do this work for God's purpose and God's not helping me, so let me just give up. But Srila Prabhupada, he didn't think like that. He was very resolute in his purpose, and he thought, if it doesn't work this way, then let me try another way. So he thought, somehow or other I must go. So he went to the Scindia steamship company, and he just sat on the doorstep of the proprietor of the company. Her name was Sumati Murarji, and he just waited there, and he waited and waited until somebody came and like asked him like, what are you doing here? And then he said, I want an audience with Mrs. Murarji. And they're just like, okay. So then they brought him in, and then he explained his mission, that he had a mission to spread Krishna consciousness, the message, because Sumati Murarji was a devotee also. She had a deity of Bal Gopal, and so Srila Prabhupada said, I want to spread the message of your Bal Gopal in the Western countries. Please give me a free passage on your ship. And so she was kind of sympathetic to him, but she was saying that you're an old man. In the Western countries, nobody understands your culture. Nobody is going to respect you. And furthermore, this travel by ship, it's a very difficult journey that I don't think you'll be able to survive it. But Srila Prabhupada, he was very determined. He kept on coming again and again and requesting, please give me this passage. And she's like, you're going to die. And he's like, no, I want to go. So then finally, she agreed. So she gave him a passage. But that wasn't it. Then it took so much trouble to arrange all the papers. He had to get like a P form and his passport. And, I think in India in those days, it was even worse. The government offices, like it was taking like months, and he had to come like so many times to the office. But he was resolute in his purpose. He didn't give up, and he kept on coming, and eventually he got everything done. And then he went. And when he arrived, it said he didn't. On the ship also he actually had 2 heart attacks, and he almost died. He almost actually died on the journey. But then, he was thinking like, if I have another heart attack, I'll probably die. But then he had a dream, and Krishna came in the dream and said, "Don't worry, I'm going to take care of you, and I'm going to row the boat so that the boat is going to be very smooth, and you'll be able to cross without difficulty." And so then he managed to arrive. And on arrival, the captain of the ship, he said that it was amazing that he had never had such a smooth crossing of the Atlantic ever before. Like the Atlantic is almost always like very rough, but this time it was amazing. So he was like, "You should come back with me on the journey, then we can have another smooth journey." But Srila Prabhupada was like, "No, I have my mission." So then he arrived at Boston Harbor, and but once he got there, he didn't know anybody there. He didn't know whether to turn right or left, but somehow he just actually, when he arrived, he wrote this beautiful prayer to Lord Krishna, where he was saying that, "Why have you brought me to this terrible place where people, they know nothing of Vedic culture. They're only interested in sense enjoyment, eating meat, and all sinful habits." But he said that surely you must have some reason. Otherwise, why would you bring me here? So then he writes that, "Please just make me a puppet in your hands and make me dance as you like." So this was his prayer when he arrived. So taking shelter of Krishna, he went, and he had one letter of recommendation that he got from India. Somebody sent him a letter. So he went to this place, Mr. Agarwal, and he was staying in his house. But then he was like, "This is the movement's not going to start from here," because it was in a small town called Butler, Pennsylvania. So he thought, if I need to start a movement, I should at least go to the main city, New York. So then he went to New York, and there he knew nobody. There was like, Gopal gave him this reference of like one of his friends, Dr. Mishra. So he went and he was staying with him for some time, but he was a Mayavadi. So he was like preaching, opposite of the philosophy. And sometimes Prabhupada would try to talk to his students, but they would often get into arguments. And then he was thinking like, I need my new place. So you see, Prabhupada is facing so many obstacles one after the other, but because he has a clear idea of what his goal is, he's resolute. Nothing can shake him. And so while he was staying in his room, somebody stole his typewriter. They broke in. Already he had like no money, and now his typewriter was gone. And just one thing after another. Then he had to move from there. He moved to this other place, which was on the Bowery. This was like the worst neighborhood in New York, where all the drunk people were just lying around. And then he was staying with this drunkard who like went crazy and started running after him to kill him. So you see, he went through so many difficulties, but he was resolute in his purpose, and he just he kept on trying to spread Krishna consciousness and speak about Krishna to whoever he met, and finally, Krishna started sending some people to help him. So then, after when he like got thrown out of his, or rather, he ran out of his apartment because this man was like going crazy in there. Then, some people who he had been speaking to before, they arranged to get like a storefront for him. So then there he started announcing like daily classes on the Bhagavad Gita in the evening, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, like that. And then people would come slowly. They would come to hear him. And then also what he did was he went to the park Tompkins Square Park, and he just sat in the middle of the park, and he started chanting. So he had full faith in Krishna, in the holy name of Krishna, and he would just chant there, and he would sit and chant for hours, and then people would come and they would dance around, just to, like, listen to the chanting, and then he would pass out like flyers or tell them to come to the storefront for the classes, and some they would come like they were interested to know more about the chanting. And so in this way, gradually it started. And just by his determination, his focus on his mission, and his sincere desire to serve his spiritual master, to serve Krishna, gradually it attracted like sincere and dedicated followers. And today we have a worldwide movement that was started by Srila Prabhupada in this in a very simple, humble way. So this is the power of being resolute in your purpose, being focused, having a clear goal, and also one important thing was that Prabhupada had this order from his spiritual master. That's what made him so determined also and so focused. So this is also really important, that to get this focus in our life, we should have a clear understanding of the philosophy of the knowledge, and this is possible when we have a spiritual guide who can give us like proper understanding of the knowledge, and they can guide us like specifically what is our goal and our purpose and our mission, and how we can we can take forward this knowledge in our own life. This is also confirmed by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service to him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. So, yeah, Krishna is recommending that we try to understand this knowledge by approaching a spiritual master, one who has understood this knowledge and fully realized it, and he also practices it in his life. And yeah, so this is like a bona fide spiritual master who can give us proper guidance. And then, Krishna recommends that we approach such a devotee and we render service to him, so that he becomes like pleased with us, and then he will be pleased to reveal all the secrets of the transcendental knowledge to us. And then also we should inquire. We should do, Krishna mentions in this verse 3 things. First, paripat, pariprashna, and seva. First, pranipat means humility, that we should approach them in humility with the attitude like, I want to learn from you. And then pariprashna means we should inquire, and seva is render service. So when we approach the devotee with a humble mood, and we render service to them, and then we inquire from them, then they'll be pleased with us to reveal all the secrets of the transcendental knowledge and to guide us on this journey. And then when we have this knowledge, when we have this guidance, then we can be focused and resolute in our purpose. So in this verse, Srila Prabhupada writes a nice purport. He says that a strong faith that by Krishna consciousness one will be elevated to the highest perfection of life is called vyavasayatmika buddhi, vyavasayatmika intelligence. So this one-pointedness, that means that this faith, we have this faith that just by executing Krishna consciousness, taken to Krishna consciousness, I can achieve the highest perfection of life. We don't need to, be worried about like, oh, maybe I need to do this also. Maybe I need to worship this demigod. Maybe I have to do this yoga process as well. And, I have to also make lots of money and be successful in my career and, be a successful sports player or, have a wonderful YouTube channel or whatever it is. We don't need to do all these different things. We just need to be focused. Because if we have this strong faith that just by developing my Krishna consciousness, then I can achieve all success in all spheres of life. Because Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He's the master of all opulences. He has all the greatest wealth. He has the greatest fame. And he has all knowledge. And he's the most loving, kind friend also. And to whoever surrenders unto him, takes shelter of him, and completely focuses all their attention, their life on him, then he gives them everything they need. And he knows actually what's best for us. So whatever we need, then Krishna will arrange all of that for us. So we don't need to worry about or be diverted by thinking like I need to do something else to make my life successful. So this is the strong faith that will enable us to be focused in our spiritual life, and this is really important. So there's also another nice verse that confirms this in the Srimad Bhagavatam. It goes, Devarshi bhutaptanurnam pitrinam nakinkaro nayamrini charajan sarvatmanaya sharanam sharanyam gato mukunda parihritya kartum. So this verse is saying that most people, they have different debts. Like when they come to this world, like first of all, we take birth from our parents. So like we have debts to our parents. Then we have also debts to the great sages for giving us the knowledge. We have debts to our teachers, who teach us, and to the demigods who supply us, the different like sun, moon, and they give us the rain and all of these different things. So like according to Vedic culture, people are very like conscientious. They understand, like, I'm receiving all these gifts from different personalities. I'm receiving the rain, I'm receiving light, just like we pay for our electricity. So we should also be conscious that we're receiving the sunlight, and we should actually, do something to pay for it, because we actually need to do something to pay for it, otherwise we become a debtor. That's what this verse is saying. But it's saying that one who takes a devotional service and surrenders to Krishna, then he is relieved of all these debts. Because just by worshipping Krishna, then Krishna is a supreme whole, and everybody else, they're just his parts and parcels. And so once Krishna is satisfied, then everybody else is satisfied. All other debts are resolved. And so we can just be focused on our devotional service to Krishna, and we don't need to worry about anything else, because our devotional service to Krishna alone will make our life successful and resolve us of all other responsibilities or debts. So that's the beauty of Krishna consciousness. So there's a nice little story of how Krishna takes care of his devotees. That once Krishna had a devotee. He was a poor brahmana, and he was living his life quite happily. But then, they were rather poor. So his wife, she wanted him to get some more money. So then she's like, "Why don't you go ask Krishna for some money?" But he didn't want to ask Krishna for money, because he was like, I don't want to ask Krishna for something. I just want to serve Krishna. But still, his wife was insisting. So he's like, "Okay, I'll go ask for something then." So then he went. But he's like, "I can't go empty-handed to see Krishna. At least give me something to give to Krishna." So then the wife is like, "We're so poor, we don't even have anything to give." So then she just went to like the neighbors to beg something to give to Krishna. And so she begged a little bit of chipped rice. And then, the brahmana's name was Sudama. So Sudama took it and to give to Krishna. And then Krishna, when he got to the palace, so Krishna was so kind to him. He was like, because Sudama, he was actually Krishna's childhood friend. So then he was so happy to see Sudama, and he was like, "Wow, thank you so much for coming to see me." And then they were just like talking about their childhood activities. And Sudama was having such a wonderful time with Krishna that he even forgot, like, to ask Krishna for anything. So then finally it was like, it was time for him to go home. And then he realized, like, oh, I didn't ask Krishna for anything. But, oh yeah, Krishna actually noticed that Sudama had brought him something. He's like, Sudama, I know you wouldn't have come up empty-handed to see me. You must have brought me something. So then Sudama was ashamed. He didn't want to give Krishna, this like broken, poor quality rice that his wife begged. Because Krishna was like, he was a king. So he had like the best food to eat. So then, but Krishna, he knew that Sudama had brought it with love, so he wanted it. And so he noticed that it was like tucked into Sudama's belt, so he just snatched it out. And then Sudama was like, no, don't eat it. And then Krishna's like, I'm going to eat this. And then so he started eating the rice. And he's like, wow, this is delicious. And Sudama was just like, oh my God. And then, and Rukmini was like, so Krishna was like eating, and then Rukmini like caught his hand. Rukmini is Krishna's wife. She's like, I think that's enough. And so then Krishna stopped. And then Rukmini is like, with this amount of rice that you've eaten, you have already indebted yourself so much to Sudama that if you eat any more, that we're gonna have to go begging because you'll have like given everything to Sudama. So then as Sudama left, he went back home, and he was thinking like, I didn't ask anything from Krishna, but how can I ask anything from Krishna? So then he went back, and then when he got back to his house, where his house was, he was completely confused, because where his little like rundown cottage stood, there was like a huge palace, and he was just like, oh my God, did I get lost? And when he was just looking around, like, where am I? Like, what's happening? Then his wife came out, and she just looked at him like, our house got transformed. And he was like, and then he just realized that this was Krishna's blessing on him. That Krishna, he was so happy just to reciprocate with his love. And it's actually said that because Sudama gave Krishna even more than what he had, because he didn't even have the chipped rice. He had to like go and beg from somewhere else. So Krishna was thinking like, I can't even repay Sudama because there's nothing that I don't have. I have everything. So then I can't give Sudama something that I don't have. So then he just gave him like the best palace that he could. So this story tells us like, for one who's a devotee of Krishna, he gives everything. He gives even greater than what we can ever expect or imagine. So yeah, I encourage you to all dedicate your lives to Krishna, to have faith in this wonderful process of devotional service that's glorified in the scriptures here and has been practiced by many devotees. These scriptures have been coming from since the beginning of creation, and since then many people have practiced this process, and they have attained perfection by following this process. So it's been tried and tested and proved successful. So yeah, we should all take to this same process with faith, and then we can also attain the same wonderful results of eternal blissful life in the spiritual world with Krishna. So thank you for your kind attention and patience. We have a few minutes left if anybody has any questions or comments. Yeah. Okay, thank you for a nice question. I'll just repeat it for those who are online. So you were asking, how can we be resolute in purpose when we have so many different duties in this world, like towards our family, etc., and work? Yeah. So, this is a good question. So first of all, it comes down to knowledge, knowing what our goal is. So if our goal is to please Krishna, then we should also have knowledge of what pleases Krishna. So everyone is like Krishna's part and parcel, Krishna's children, and every soul is dear to Krishna. So definitely, our family members are also dear to Krishna. And if we think of them in that way, then we're Krishna conscious. We're thinking like, I need to care for my family because they're part of Krishna's family. And this is my responsibility to take care of them for Krishna. And so I'm actually going to do the best to care for them in the best way so that Krishna will be pleased with me. And this way we can remember Krishna, and we can actually dedicate all our activities for Krishna's pleasure. And this is not diverting from our purpose and our goal. This is actually part of the way of practicing Krishna consciousness in this life, because in this world we do have certain duties, but when Krishna sees that we're dedicating all our activities to him, then he's very pleased, and he also gives us guidance. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam pratipurvakam didami buddhi yogam tam yena mama payantite, that to one who is always engaged in serving me with love, that I give him the intelligence by which he can come to me. So if we sincerely try to dedicate all our activities to Krishna for his pleasure, and we try to develop our love for Krishna and pray to Krishna for guidance, then Krishna will guide us also on how we can best practice our spiritual life still while living in this world, and and attain the perfection at the end. It's okay. Anybody else? Okay, so we can stop here then. It's 7 o'clock. We'll have the arti in a few minutes. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Me? Yeah, you can do it.
Thank you so much. Just wanted to request if you could